I realized watching yourself is good. Do you guys all watch the YouTube?
No.
You should. You'll pick up what you don't like that you do. I need to stop head back laughing because when I do, it's like double chin. I'm like, I gotta stop.
It is good
I
to
do
watch.
it a lot. Yeah.
Wait, is this on? Can we just hit record already?
Guys, hurry up. I have to nurse the baby.
Like
Okay.
I said, this sounds
Yeah,
pretty
here we
mid.
go.
I'm not gonna say that.
Okay, ready?
Well,
1, 2, 3.
this is Kayla,
Kelsey.
Brooke.
and Hope,
And you're listening to the 4S podcast.
Okay, welcome back to the podcast. If you're new, if you're just now listening, if this is your first ever episode, I'm Kayla. We have Kelsey and Brooke and Hope here. We all kind of sound alike, so be sure to check it out on YouTube so you can tell the difference.
Or on 94.7
Okay, we're not on the radio. Don't listen to them. We are all sisters. We're all about 2 years apart in age. And this podcast, if you haven't listened to episode 1, is really just to encourage and share stories with you and let you into a little bit of our world. And we hope you enjoy.
All right. Are you ready to chat with each other?
Hope your hair is giving aqua. And you know who I mean by aqua.
Marine.
Aqua.
We're ready for another episode. Kelsey is still doing her makeup per usual, so we are continuing to
This
stay on
is-
brand.
You have to do this from now on. It's non-negotiable.
Tradition.
Just so everyone knows, she's not trying to do this. We're not saying don't, finish your makeup on camera. She's just never ready.
Yeah, legit. Shows up doing makeup. It's just her.
Okay. Well,
That's what makes her beautiful.
I would like to start by saying, if you haven't listened to the last episode, please do. And if you did listen to it and you got offended by us saying we have no friends, we apologize and acknowledge that we have many friends.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I think, I'll clear the air. I think what I meant by that is that we can't fill a house on a Friday night of 20 people our age. That's more so what I mean. So we have 10 plus friends we chat with, we love, we appreciate. Yes, of course.
Yes.
So,
So,
and you know who you are. You know
Yeah.
who you are.
apologies. But how's everyone's weeks been?
Sick. We're all sick. I think January is just like the month everybody in America is like getting a virus. So
Yeah, I was sick all week.
But you look great now.
It's called makeup. I do not.
we've survived. We've survived.
Brooke, is yours gone?
Yeah. It's like that leftover, leftover like nose stuff for like days. But yeah, it's
I have yet to get it. I've been taking my immune support and I'm trying to avoid it at all cost.
Kayla also is a real big fan of rat drugs, and she'll we call her like the family druggie because she
Let's
just
not say that.
loves-
Not family druggy. That's very, very insane.
because we have a bunch of real druggies listening to our podcast.
You never know. All she's referring
If
to
you
is the
do
fact that
drugs, okay.
I actually take just over-the-counter medication like pseudoephedrine.
And it makes her pupils really little.
Okay, if you take it too much,
Like
yes.
her. Sorry.
You know this. Do you live with her?
No, she tells me. I'm family headquarters. I know everything.
About
Anyways.
the people she wants to know.
Kayla, you call and say, that makes my pupils small. I just need you to know that.
Literally, yes.
No,
And
I
this was like
don't.
2 years ago. No, like 2 years ago, you told me what it does to you.
Okay, we were talking. She said, "How are you feeling?" I said, "I'm feeling great. I've been taking the pseudoephedrine, and don't you worry, it works like magic." Are my pupils smaller? Yes. Do I feel like I'm hallucinating? Maybe. But I can breathe and I feel good.
That's probably why she's been in 4 accidents in the last 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she says she shouldn't drive when she's having rat.
That's true. You have been in a lot of wrecks lately.
Okay, it's been 2 in the past 2 years.
Yikes. 0 in the past 0.
Same.
Okay, and
1 in the past 27.
neither of them were my fault, okay?
Knock on wood, girl.
This
By
will
the
be
way,
a gr-
Kayla, can you give us a quick little recap? People want to know. You just went to Cabo. Give us a little, what was that? How was it? Tell us a funny story or two.
Yes. So I did mention on episode 1 that I wanted to be a little bit more reckless this year and go on the trips and do the things. And so I have to put my money where my mouth is. And I booked Cabo. And I was going to go alone, but then my parents, they had been wanting to go and they're celebrating their 35th wedding anniversary next month. And so we just kind of combined it all. So they came with me. And man, I think if I could extend the trip in one word, I was a chaperone. For sure. They had the time of their life. Aaron was out of control. One morning, he got up early and left the hotel room and then met us at breakfast and told us all about his morning activities. He had snuck into a golf course by talking to one of the landscapers that let him in. And so he did his morning workout on the greens. I said, Dad, what does that mean? And he said, well, I did my push-ups, I did my sit-ups, and I ran some laps. I said, and you were shirtless? And he said, yeah, it was hot out there. I said, great. So these beautiful 5-star golf course greens were being occupied by a shirtless Mexican man doing his workout this morning. He goes,
Not
yeah,
to
but then
mention, shirtless is one thing, but our shirtless father's another thing. He is a rug on the front and back of the
Hair.
a rarity that I've realized as I grow up, because my husband has like no hair on his back, but I thought it was normal until I grew up. And we have a rug for a father, so it's not just a shirtless man, it's a rugged shirtless man running around doing workouts.
And then Kayla said he went and baptized himself in the Sea of Cortez, and he will tell you that story 10 times if you ever see him again. And we're like, Dad, why are you baptizing yourself? And he's like, I want to show the love of Jesus to everyone. And we're like, Dad, no one's watching you baptize yourself in the Sea of Cortez.
Yeah, and he said, well, they may have heard me because I sat there on the shore and I said, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and then I dunked myself. He told us this story at breakfast and I was sobbing, crying, like laughing. I lost it. So
he also filmed himself running into the light, into the
sunrise
shore as a memory video. So when he does die, we can look back on, and then that's what we should imagine it looks like as he runs into heaven.
No, not only that, it was for content for his funeral video. He's like, girls, here, I filmed some stuff for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was just day 1. That was like morning 1. And the shenanigans continued and they were hilarious. But it was so special to just be with them and witness their like dynamics. I mean, 35 years of marriage, like so cool, and see how they just love each other and how my mom puts up, with my dad's chaoticness. Anyways,
What are we talking about today?
today we're going to talk about a little bit of homeschooling. We're not just going to solely talk about homeschooling, but as we've talked about just us and our dynamics, we really believe that growing up homeschooled together is what has shaped us to be as close as we are and just have the tight knit and bond that we do have. And there's a couple other factors, but we feel like homeschooling is pretty foundational to who we are and how we behave and how we grew up. And so we just want to kind of talk about that. We're not going to talk about super specifics of how it went down and what curriculum we used and stuff like that. If you want to know those things, if you're a mom looking to homeschool, we're happy to answer those questions. But we're just going to talk about kind of how we grew up and how homeschooling impacted us. So yeah, how do you guys feel about that?
It sucks. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't trade it for the world, especially because we grew up professional dancers.
Professional.
Let me live my dream.
You cannot say that.
Okay.
We'll
No.
save those little secrets for our dance podcast. We're going to do an episode, so. But anyway, growing up homeschooled was it was less common, I think, when we were growing up. Now, I think so many more kids are homeschooled, and it's very common. But when we were growing up, it was still the whole, you're homeschooled, people thought a thing about you. They assumed you were a certain way. It was less common, so.
It consisted of long denim skirts.
Yeah, long denim skirts, long hair, and you, didn't know how to be.
You were just, super sheltered and weird.
Yeah, and, different.
Almost
So.
like Amish. If you were homeschooled, you were basically Amish.
Yeah. Whereas now I don't think if you say my kids are homeschooled, they don't think they're any different really. If anything, I feel now it's oh, that's so nice, cool that you get to do that. But it wasn't as highly looked upon when we were growing up. But
Yeah,
we're here to tell you we are survivors.
Survivors and thrivers. Because,
we thrive. So can we all give a round of applause to the real hero here, Wendy Gonzalez? Yeah? Okay, yeah, I mean, guys, 4 kids, K through 12.
Okay, so a couple of us went to public school a couple different years, but overall, like, let's just start off with, like, what was homeschooling like for you? Like, when you look back at your, K through 12 years, what do you think about your homeschooling life?
I, for one, am so thankful, like, for real. Like, and especially now being a mom to 4 kids and starting homeschooling and seeing, like, what a load that is to take on. I just think of our mom and that she did that. And I'm, like, so grateful she chose to, like, endure that for so many years because I'm so glad we were homeschooled.
I'll piggyback off that.
There you go.
I would say my favorite thing about homeschooling, and I would have never figured this out until I was older and living my own adult life, would be the sense of discipline it put in us. Because when you're homeschooled, you have so much freedom across the board, and you really have to, you have your mom there for the majority of your life to be like, do your school, do your homework, like make sure you get that done. But then once you get a little bit older in high school and stuff, you really do have to be like, okay, if I don't get this done, then I'm not going to meet that deadline. And like, maybe you want to finish before, a month before everybody else, then you got to put in the discipline and the work to like get that done. So now in my adult life, discipline comes a bit easier to me than I feel like maybe someone who's been in public school their whole lives, because discipline was just like there for them. Like there was those 4 walls, there was like the time slots in the day, and like all, it was just like kind of given to them. For us, we had to learn it and we had to practice it. So now in my adult life where I have so much more freedom, it's easy for me to implement that discipline. So I'm very thankful for that.
Totally. Like we learned it at a young age.
I would say that, and I've been like realizing lately too that there's so much stuff that in public school kids have to deal with, like distraction wise, friend groups, popularity, what you're wearing, what you look like, just like the list goes on. We did have that opportunity to not be so distracted by like that kind of stuff that didn't matter so much, and being able to focus on starting to develop thoughts of what is really important in life and things like that. And I think personality wise, some of us were more shy than others, but I craved being a part of all that fun school stuff. So I just had to stay super outgoing, and then I was able to attend that stuff that I wanted to do that I was going to be super bummed if I missed out on, like proms and homecomings and things like that. So we had our friends that did go to public school. I was able to attend that stuff with them.
Yeah, and somehow Kelsey like still found a way to get the like best of both worlds, because when we moved out here back to California, Kelsey was in like I think the high school years. And she found a way to weasel herself into all the Brea Linda High School dances. She got dates too. Like guys would ask her to these dances, and we didn't even go to the school.
I did too.
She was just outgoing. She like
Kayla got some too. Wait, give space. Kayla
got
too.
some too. And hey, I went to winter formal.
Yeah,
They all did those kind of things.
I went to Sadie's. I
Not
went to
me.
winter formal. I went to homecoming. I went to Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, Miss Kelsey over here. I'm the only sister.
Yeah.
Sounds
I
terrifying.
just remember being
Terrifying.
like I like so desperate to do that stuff, and not that you
Yeah,
guys
she
did or
liked
didn't
it.
do it, but like you guys would have been okay. Like I was like, I need to do that, and at least I still got to do it, and I think you guys would have been okay regardless. But all of us did get some fun opportunities, and I think it was like our mom giving us the dance aspect where we had those friends to make those connections and then do that kind of stuff, and then we were at the same time. So I think as long as you're provided with like all those opportunities as a parent to do that, like that was the way that we were able to do that, and that was
No, I don't
really
even
cool.
think that you got the connections through dance. How did you get involved with like the high school city kids? Was it like a neighbor?
No, that was through dance, because it was like one person at dance was dating somebody from that school, and then I met it was still through dance. Everything was always through dance, so that was really nice. I think if you're homeschooled and just homeschooled, like your kids might miss out on some stuff. Maybe, I'm not saying that for sure for people that want to homeschool today, but I think that it was really important that we were involved in multiple different things, and then we kind of got the best of both worlds. Like Brooke said, it was really good.
Yeah, no, not me. I didn't want anything of that world. Like it's terrifying. Like I would never ever want to step foot in a public dance ever.
Well, and also homeschooling today is so different from back then. Like today, there's co-ops, there's homeschool like mom groups that meet on Fridays. Like there's so many opportunities for kids to make friends and grow up together and do all those things. versus us. We didn't really have that.
But no, we had those things, the co-ops and the homeschool groups, but like we said, like it was just kind of weird. We didn't really want to be associated, and like we said back then, homeschoolers were kind of weird, and today it's
everything
more...
was just different. Yeah.
Homeschooling has come a long way. Let's just say that.
It really
And
has.
it is super cool. I know that because Cody, my husband, was public school and then I was homeschooled. So we entered marriage in like different views, although he was totally chill to homeschool. But now he's seeing it like with our firstborn, and he'll come down and she'll be doing her little school like at our kitchen counter asking, can you make me a decaf coffee, getting her toast served, has a blanket on her lap. And to me, it's normal. I'm like, yeah, this is nothing shocking to me. But to him, he'll like look and he comments all the time and is like, she doesn't realize like how blessed she is. I'm like, no, she doesn't. And he's like, yeah, like she's at home with her mom walking around the kitchen asking for coffee and food and has a blanket and it's 10 a.m. and she's just doing her little school.
Some people will frown upon that because they'll think like there was no preparation if that was your life for, however many years school is, 12 years. But at the same time, I feel like at that point when you're 18, the real world is for you at that time. And it shouldn't have been for you the last
when you
12
were 5.
Yeah, because you don't get, you have your whole rest of so much more of your life is gonna be in that way that like I think everyone deserves to have their first 12 years as laid back as possible. You don't get that back. You're only a kid once. And so I think there's a mix between like getting them prepped for like not such a culture shock, but at the same time, like I think that's very appropriate that your life gets to be like that when you only get one childhood.
Yeah, and people always ask, like, do you feel like you weren't ready for college? Or, like, how was it when you entered a classroom for the first time? And I'm like, no, it was fine. Like, it's not rocket science. I remember watching, like, cartoons and, like, things on Disney Channel and seeing a classroom. And, like, when I went to college, I'm like, yeah, it's just like it was on TV. Like, it's not that shocking. And I just want to clarify, like, just because Brooke says her daughter does 2 hours of school, like, she's in kindergarten. Like, when we were in high school, we were doing 6 hours of, school before, we could end our day.
Yeah, it was legit. Like, I feel like it was a great education, too, on that whole side of things.
Yeah, but let's also acknowledge that this is so much a luxury. Like, not every family has the ability to be home with a kid all day.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. Like, some people now being homeschooled, I feel like is like, wow, that you get to do that. Like, that's a blessing. I feel like that's more and we know it is. Like, we totally know it is. Me and Kelsey stay-at-home moms. Like, we're able to be home, and I know that's definitely a blessing and we don't take for granted.
Yeah, a lot of people comment, say I homeschool my kids, and I mean, it's first like, oh my gosh, how do you do that? And then I shut that down like I'm not superhero. I definitely use a program that's very self-sufficient.
Hands off.
Like I'm not really have to do much, which is nice that there's that type of program out there. But I always say like, I know it's not like I'm special. I know people have to work. And so I'm lucky that I don't have to and I get to do this. I don't know if everybody would, whether they have to work or not, but no, we're very lucky and we make the sacrifices that we have to make to have one income in California so that we could do homeschooling. So it's not the easiest thing, but it's priority to us. And so it works out. And I know it's not everybody's reality. So we are definitely lucky.
Okay. I think aside from the education part, I think us sisters are like really close. And I don't see a lot of like multiple sibling families like past the age 20, 30, like super close like we are. It's just not as common now that we're older and like we see other, sets of siblings. And I think we are now like seeing the like reward and the benefits from what our mom chose to do with us, which was being homeschooled, being together all the time, being in the same sport. And that helped because we were all girls and like loved to dance. But now we're older and I think we have a really special bond. Clearly, we're doing a podcast and I think that had a lot to do with it.
I think personally, just like I have memories of us in our elementary years, like all doing school around the table. And I remember like just not knowing what each of you were learning, but knowing that we're all like here committed, we're doing school together. And then we all got to go eat lunch together or go play outside like we were done. And then we just had like instant friends we could play with. And so I think from a younger years, I definitely think that was a positive like shaping experience for us that we didn't even realize at the time was so impactful.
Yeah, with the whole younger years, I don't think we would have realized this until we're older, like so many things. But whenever my mom or our dad would be, our parents would be busy, and I would have to ask like Kayla for help on math or like science or something. It almost, like, really thinking about it in this moment, it helped me trust Kayla in the sense of, oh, she can help me with things in life. Like, now I have such a trust for my sisters. Like, anything about like birthing or just like birthrights in a hospital, I'm like, I trust Brooke so much. And like anything with Kayla or anything with Kelsey, like, I think now really thinking about it, I do trust them so much because being the youngest in homeschooling, and there was times and seasons where we had to rely on each other and I had to ask them for help because I didn't know how to do a problem. Like, I think that really instilled trust between us four. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it was another thing about like we had each other if like our mom was busy or cooking us lunch or something, like we had someone to be there.
You know, it's so bad. I have like zero memories of the actual schooling aspect. Well,
Of
for
course.
like my whole childhood. I remember all the fun stuff, and it's probably so personality like
Mhm.
personalities, but my brain wrapped around and held on to just I guess all the memories that I wanted to remember or liked, which was all the fun stuff. We would like make tree houses out of sticks. I remember making like pathways through the forest for our bike riding. I remember making igloos when it would snow outside. Like we found
Yeah.
the pool when we were teenagers and made a music video with the rat, and like just so many fun memories. Those are all the things that are in my brain that, like, I'm happy to think back on my childhood that had, like, so much life in it. And obviously, I learned my academics at the same time. I didn't grow up like a failure, and I passed all my classes and stuff like that, but that was not what my childhood memories are filled with, which I think is really cool because I don't think a lot of people can say that.
Yeah, that's what like homeschooling gives you. Is it gives you like those are our memories of K through 12. And like she said, yeah, of course we passed our classes. Some of us got college degrees, like we were fine in that regard, but it wasn't like everything.
Yeah, and there was Kelsey referenced a rat video, and that was the first year that I went to college. So all of them were still being homeschooled at home, and I was in college. And so it was the first time that the dynamic shifted, and they're home doing their schoolwork, and then they get to hang out together and do all these things. And then I'm over there at college doing like an 8-hour day or whatever. And one time I came home after college, and they're like, "Look what we did today!" And they did like a whole. It's so ridiculous.
We'll link it. We will share it.
No.
Richard, rest in peace.
They found a dead
Richard.
possum in the pool, and they made a hole.
Mom was so chill too. I remember like midday, like right now, I'd be
I think
like,
she like helped us.
no, yeah, I would be like, guys, focus on your school, like get your schoolwork done. She was like, that's fine, you can take a break and do that. Just do your school when you're done. So then we just went on to doing this whole project on this dead possum, which ended up still being like a learning curve because I learned like how to work my computer and how to work like making movies on computer.
Well, and then there was another one that you guys had some friends over one day, and you guys did like this little music video to Taylor Swift. And to this day, the way you guys edited it, I was like, how did you know how to edit back then? This is like before content was a thing, before editing.
Yeah.
Like she's on GarageBand.
This was all done on iMovie.
GarageBand or iMovie on my little MacBook Pro. I would edit our little music videos that we filmed in the street.
With costume and makeup. Yeah, we should link that one because that one, honestly, that's impressive. She had like a loop, like she would cut a clip and then repeat it and sync it with the music.
That's so good. Yeah. My kids watch it all the time on our TV. They love it.
So I think that's another positive thing of like from our childhood is not only did we get like our academics, like Kelsey's talking about, what we did learn so many more skills.
Other things, yeah.
Like I have a joke in like my adult life. Every time I know how to do something that somebody else doesn't, they're like, how do you know how to do that? And I'm like, I was homeschooled. Like I know everything from, like the video editing. I can knit, I can bake, I can shop, I can like.
It's like homeschooling equaled an amount of freedom and time.
You had the time,
Yeah, to like add in that kind of stuff that other people don't have time for.
Yeah, sometimes math lessons would be like at the mall, and our mom would say like, you have to go to the clearance aisle and find something and then tell me what percentage off this item is. Now,
With no calculator.
with no calculator. That wasn't like our official math lesson. Like, I don't want to make it sound like Wendy was like free schooling, because that's a whole nother thing, free schooling.
But she just incorporated learning like anywhere,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Like, I still remember Dad's whole like pint quart gallon story of like the princess and the banquet.
I don't remember
Or is
that.
that a normal thing for
I don't
kids? I don't know.
remember.
At
No.
all.
That's
It might be a
cute.
normal thing.
It's like all these it was like 4 princesses and they're all like gallons or something.
No,
And
they're
it was
all
the 4
in,
of us.
yeah.
And it's like quarts and ounces and all this stuff, and he like made it this whole thing, and he would get up and he would dance and he'd put music on for me if I like really wasn't getting it, and just like stuff like that you don't get in public school.
By the way, Erin was our principal. So my
Oh,
mom did like a private school affidavit, like PSA or whatever. So we were our own school, and she was our teacher, but Erin was the principal. And if we got in trouble or we're having a naughty day at school, we did have to report to the principal.
Hey, fun fact that everybody finds so interesting is that our dad was a public school teacher. He did his public school master's for administration. He was public school everything. And from the moment he stepped into the public school system and then it was time for his own kids to begin school, he told my mom they are not going. So a lot of people are shocked by, and that says a lot that we were homeschooled because one of our parents worked in the public school system. And to this day, it's not that he even hates it. He loves it. And he loves to be like changing things in that area or that realm and trying to make it a better place. He still works in public school to this day. So it's not that he doesn't like it, but yeah, he wanted something different for us.
He's so cute. Anyway, he's going to retire soon, but he is a rock star teacher.
But speaking of the lessons, do you remember boyfriend class that he would give us?
Boyfriend class.
I don't.
Tell us a little bit about also, the subject of boyfriends.
Well, Hope, I don't know that Hope, you were probably a baby, because I vividly remember me, Kelsey, and Brooke sitting on a couch, and
Maybe
Dad.
that's why I have so many problems.
She didn't go through boyfriend class.
Dad got out an easel and like the big
Mm-mm.
white paper and drew a stick figure of a man and wrote boyfriend on it. And he said, "Okay, girls, this is boyfriend class." And we're sitting there. I'm like, what? It was North Carolina, so I had to have been 7.
7.
So I'm
and I'm like
7.
4, Kelsey's 5.
Yeah. And he's like, "Okay, now boys, they don't wash their hands. If they're going to eat a burrito, they will pick their nose and then put their burrito in the microwave and then get it out and eat it." And we're like, okay. He's like drawing a burrito and like a booger and putting the booger on the burrito. And we're like, okay. And then he's like, "Okay, and next lesson, if a boyfriend is taller than his mom and looks down on his mom," and he draws like a little woman stick figure, "he is not nice, bad boy." And he's trying to like explain like he shouldn't be disrespectful.
Mom.
Like a boy shouldn't be disrespectful to his mom. And that we should always look for, boyfriends who are nice to their moms. And like to this day, I have that vivid memory. Boys put boogers on their burritos and they can't be taller than their mom. Like,
You know what? I don't really remember that. I remember hearing the stories, but I was there. So you know what? When I got older and a boy tried to hold my hand for the first time, I was, and you guys all know, like absolutely disgusted, offended, cringed. I didn't like it. Like I was so like, don't hold my hand. Like this is,
it was
and
probably
maybe
'cause
that's why.
subconsciously you were like, they have boogers in their hands.
Disgusting hand of a man. Yeah.
You know what is so funny is that everything that he was saying, and he was trying so hard to get us to understand because he knew that boys and girls are so different and all he had was girls. And so how is he going to like really get us to understand how boys are? Now that we have boys and now that we like had our dating scene, all that, he was right about everything. They are disgusting. They are
So gross.
I agree.
All right.
Okay, so we've kind of talked about, what the positives. What are some things that maybe you feel like you missed out on being homeschooled? Or
Nothing.
maybe, okay.
Boys. I'm just kidding.
Men. No. I am such a I'm the shy one. You probably can't tell on this podcast, but in real life out there in the real world, I am. And so I was actually very happy to be homeschooled. One, nothing to do with anything outside my front door. And kind of still like that. So no, I don't really have a ton of cons. I loved it. I would actually cry when I was a real naughty girl growing up, and my mom, she wouldn't threaten per se, but like, hey, you know, I don't have to be homeschooling you. There's a public school right down the street, and I would literally just sob and get like pre-traumatized, and like I would shape up, that's for sure. But no, I loved homeschooling, being homeschooled.
Anything that I felt like was a con, I used my outgoing personality to achieve so that I didn't grow up feeling like I missed out on something. And that's exactly what I did. I engaged on and got myself into all the activities or the friend groups or whatever I wanted, not have to regret later. And now grew up, graduated, and I don't have any regrets that I missed out on anything. My personality did help, and I think it depends on your personality and what you want to get out of it.
I don't really regret anything. I have this funny theory that I don't remember anything about my life before 11 years old. So
She has
I
amnesia.
think it was great. I think I came out good.
I will say
Yes.
a con is we don't know how to wake up early.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
we talked about this, I think, in another episode. We cannot.
No, I will
it's like so
say-
hard to wake up early.
If you had to force something out of me, it'd be that. Because
Yeah.
when I was in junior college, everyone's like there at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. All the like girls eating their like oatmeal in the car, and they're all just like ready to go.
Okay with it,
Bushy
yeah.
tail, bright-eyed, ready to go. And I'm like, huh? And they can like stay up till midnight and do the same thing over again the next day. And I, till this day, struggle getting up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, all of us do. Like, it hurts. We never
Yeah.
had to do that.
People, like, even when I was in high school, people used to say, like, do you want to go to high school? Like, do you like being homeschooled? And I'd say, why would I ever want to wake up before 9 a.m. and, like, put clothes on
Get
and
dressed.
yeah, like, no.
It would be so
Yeah.
cold. The mornings were always
Cold, just cold.
spoiled. It's just spoiled. We're just spoiled. These are spoiled.
Truly.
And we're so thankful. Yeah. There wasn't many cons, to be honest, like thinking back. Like, I don't think any of us would have said, like, A, B, and C sucked and we wished we went to school. And also,
Yeah.
I don't think my parents, like, when we got to a certain age, like, it was a forced thing. I think if we, like, begged, right, to go to, like, high school,
They would ask, like, do
didn't
you want to
beg.
go?
Yeah. And we
They
could
would
have.
they would do a check-in every year.
Yeah, but we knew we were blessed.
Except for me. If I asked, they were like, no, you're not going.
Yeah, Kelsey wasn't allowed. No, she wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
I was not allowed. Because I actually did want to go, but looking back, I just, like I said, achieved what I wanted to achieve without going. But I did want to go for
Yeah,
those.
she got herself in those school dances anyway.
Yeah.
And
So
the
I just-
parties.
It made it work, but I did want to go because of that kind of stuff, and they would say no.
And the kickbacks. She
The
got
kick-
herself into all the kickbacks. And I was always at home waiting for her to get home.
Yeah, to scroll through my phone, find out any information that could get me in trouble, and then report it to my mom.
Okay.
Headquarters from a really young age.
All right.
Another thing that's, like, unique that kept us kind of close is our friends. Like, we all know each other's friends. I think when you're in public school, you have your friends, or private school, you have your friends and you kind of connect with them in school or in outings or whatever. But for all of us, friends always just came over to our house. And so then we all
Yeah.
became friends with all of our friends. And, like, to this day, I can run into Brooke's friends or Hope's friends or Kelsey's friends at the grocery store or wherever and, like, have a full conversation with them. Like, I'm their friend as well. And I don't know that that's common with, like, a lot of siblings.
We would almost, like, take over each other's friends. Like, I would
Yes.
become best friends with Kayla's friend, who was 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
And then, like, Hope's friends would, like, come into my room and, like, totally ditch her for a few hours. And, like, she wasn't happy about that. What can I say?
I think being close in age has something to do with that too. We're all 2 years apart.
Yeah.
We were not that homeschool kids might have the same experience, but if they have bigger age gaps, it's not going to be as realistic. So that has something to do with it.
Like, when you see on movies, like, yeah, the kids, they had their friends, they go in their room, they slam the door and, like, kick out the little sibling. Our house, it's like all doors would be open and this so-called friend would, like, hop room to room and chat with us all. And, like, yeah, it was like,
I
we're
think that's
just-
because we're all so similar. Like, the one friend would be like, wow, I get, like, the same person, but in 4. So, like, let me go get my fix or my, like, hit from Brooke, and then Kayla, and then Kelsey.
Well, and you guys, whoever's, like, not the main friend would just,
Sure.
like, be an entertainer, like, try to put on a show for the
That's
guests.
So then it'd be funny, and then that friend would want more and keep going back for more. And
Yeah,
then
no, that was
eventually they would lose their long-term best friend.
yeah. We were just like a little
I'm just kidding.
we were just, I feel like a little group, like a little, I don't want to say cult, but like same mind, same mission, together. I don't
Hands
know. I
in.
just have these like funny memories just popped up. Like we'd have babysitters come over, right? And our parents would
Yeah.
leave and we would lock our babysitter up, tie them to a chair, and we would all like
Not
do this.
all
We'd
of
tie
them,
them up
not
to a
like
chair.
every time.
No, but you know who you are. And we'd like make them eat concoctions we would make out of our fridge. And
So, like,
but I feel
dog
like that
food,
wasn't
ketchup,
uncommon. Like these little
vinegar,
missions we would like
NyQuil.
do. Like that's just
And
how we work. And I
maybe
feel like we
that's
still
very minimal babysitting because I don't remember a lot of people returning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. We'd have like one and that was it. Dance teachers usually. Our parents would get the dance teachers out to our house. But it
Yeah.
wasn't often, no.
Yeah, because you guys were crazy.
We didn't really know how to act around other people.
We didn't really know how to play normal.
Yeah.
Play night.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When I think about like having kids one day and if I'll homeschool or if I won't, I want them to be homeschooled because like Brooke said, I want them to have a similar life like we did. Like we were very close and all the things we talked about. However, I don't know if I as a like personality can actually homeschool my kids. Like I do need a break. The idea that they're gone from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day sounds so lovely. So I almost like
She says that now, but we say, no, Kayla, when you have those little babies in your home, you're going to be like, never leave. Like, you're staying with me. Right, Cal?
I was not planning on homeschooling. It came down to a couple different things that pushed me into homeschooling.
Yeah, that's true.
Kindergarten year was COVID year for my daughter, so that's what everybody had to do. So then, okay, that made it nice because I was homeschooled. It was something we were forced to do. I was comfortable with it because I knew about it, which then led into me deciding that I wanted to do it long term because I developed more opinions about public school and homeschooling through that first year. But yeah, I wasn't just initially right off the bat like, oh, I'm going to homeschool before I even got to that point.
Hope, tell us, how is your homeschooling going with your children?
They love it, dude. They love it. Also, aside from that, I love homeschooling, but I would love for my kids to have such an incredible life, like outdoors and like open field type thing. I would love to live out of country, at least for a season, not like the rest of my life. But if I could homeschool and raise kids like in New Zealand or England or Italy or somewhere would just be amazing because I think travel and other cultures really matures your kids and just exposes them to so much. So that's my hope, my dreams, but
we have
that's a long ways in the future.
No, I love that hope. And that is such a good goal to have because that your kids would be bilingual. It would be so cool.
And that's the flexibility that
Yeah.
homeschooling can bring, like to tie it together. Those like types of upbringings are possible because of homeschooling. And like if Hope wants to do that, she can. And Kelsey and I, if we want to travel or go do homeschool in the mountains for a week, like we can. And again, it's a big blessing and a privilege that we're able to do. But we also do make sacrifices to, be stay-at-home moms. And so you just have to choose like what is priority for your family and what's doable and whatever. But there's big blessings that come with it.
Okay. Well, we hope you gained some insights about us, about homeschooling. We just want to share our experiences, like we always say, and our stories and be authentic and be real. So we hope you enjoyed. We will see you guys next episode.
All right, bye.
Bye. Bye, Mommy.
Waiting for it.
Oh, it's so good.